All right, what's going on, guys? This is Out of the Park podcast. We have a special guest today, Sam Merryman. He's a college football player, and if you want to give a couple words about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Sam Merryman. I'm from Shadyside, Ohio, and I'm the current long snapper at Youngstown State University. I'm in my fifth and last year, and I'll be graduating and I wrap the season here.
So, what's your major in college?
So I'm majoring in general studies. I started off in exercise science, and it wasn't the right one for me, so I kind of switched over to general studies, and I want to go into college coaching when I'm done, whether that's coaching football or strength and conditioning, because I've always been, really involved in the weight room, and I've always loved football. So I figured, follow that path when I'm done playing here.
Yeah, so do you lift outside of just football, or are you mainly just lifting for football?
Um, Mainly for football, but I mean, I love to lift a little bit more than that. I mean, I've always been a weight room guy. I powerlifted for 6 years of my life before I got into college. And it's always been like a passion of mine. I've always loved strength training. So, yes, I do it's kind of our training programs, but our strength coaches they know me enough, and we have a good relationship to where they let me kind of do some of my own stuff, and I can build upon that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm in college right now, but I play baseball, so obviously our lifts are totally different. I see like all of our football players and stuff, they can do like power cleans and stuff like that, and it's something that we've semi started to incorporate in our lifts, but it's just something I can't like do. Like I see you guys put on like 2 to 3 plates, and it's like crazy that you guys are able to do that type of stuff. But so
Yeah.
how did you become a long snapper?
It's I get that question all the time. It's everybody thinks of a long snapper and they're kind of either don't know about it or whatever. But so I would say, I mean, I've had family members that were long snappers, so I kind of knew about long snapping, and it all started in the eighth grade when my dad kind of was like, we should start kind of learning how to long snap a little more. And at the time, I had no idea. I was like, all right, it's just another position I get to play, and so it kind of transitions to my freshman year, and I was like, that's one way I can get on the field. If I can be a good long snapper, that puts me on varsity, and that's how I could get my start. And then I got pretty decent at it, and then we're kind of looking through different college camps, at that summertime. That's how you kind of get recruited, and we've seen these specialist camps that have long snapping. So we're like, let's give this a shot. And I started learning more and went to more and more camps. And I was like, I'm actually getting pretty good at this. I'm not the best, but I like what I'm doing. And I'm not the most athletically gifted guy out there, so I was like, this is going to keep me playing. This is kind of the route I need to take. So I started researching a lot more and seeing, people can get scholarships, and this is actually a college football position. So I was like, I knew right then and then. It was probably around my sophomore year. I was like, this is what I want to do. So I worked as hard as I possibly could at it and kept on getting better, and got an offer, I want to say around my senior year, middle through the year, for just long snapping. And I was like, perfect. This is the best route I can go. Keep on playing the sport.
Yeah, no, it definitely seems like a unique position because, like, obviously, like when you ask people, they're like, "Oh, I'm a wide receiver, quarterback, everything like that." But to be a long snapper, it's got to take a lot because I personally don't understand how you guys can be so accurate in snapping on punts and everything like that. It just takes, I mean, I would imagine it takes so much skill to be able to do that and just so much preparation and like
Oh yeah.
how did you learn how to like accurately do that type of stuff?
I mean, a lot of reps. I mean, just repetitions. Uh, there's a lot of guys I went to and trained with where I learned so much. There's so many drills that you can do. Just it's almost I kind of related to either like pitching or a golf swing. You got to be accurate, but you got to throw hard at the same time. So where you got to almost I do the same thing every time. It just it's tough to explain. It's just one of those things you just do so much, you just learn how to do it pretty good. So
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm a pitcher and I totally get like just constantly going through like the dry reps, everything like that. It takes a
yeah,
lot
it's
of
100%.
practice. It's
Yeah,
it just still surprises me like just watching it in different NFL games because they get overlooked a lot of the time because like it's not a main position that you always hear about. So it's like so super interesting to see and actually get to talk to you about just like all of this because it's I've never personally actually met a long snapper before. So
Yeah.
it's really cool so far to like kind of understand like the everything behind it. So like what is your preparation before a game? Do you have like a specific pregame routine like even before you get to the field?
So we usually stay at a hotel before every game, and I usually just try to relax. I mean, a lot of the when I used to play a position in high school, I used to always try to get amped up, get ready to roll and beyond. But now more, you got to bring it down. You got to be nice, calm, and cool. I'll wake up in the morning, I'll go get my breakfast, and just I'll put music on, and it's usually just like a from anywhere from country to 80s pop, just something to calm me down and make me sometimes just laugh and just keep it calm and cool. Because I mean, once I kind of get towards the game, I'll start getting amped up a little bit more, and I just got to bring myself down. But usually once we get off the bus at the stadium, I'll go in the locker room and I'll just get my normal stretching routine. I usually do a lot of band stretching, roll out a little bit, then I'll usually try to be the first one out on the field, just kind of go out there and get a sense of what the weather's like, and see where the wind's at. If it's cold, it's hot. Then I'll just kind of hang out there for a little bit, run around, get my legs moving, stretch a little bit more, and then I'll go into kind of my warm ups. I do a lot of throws, and then by that time our punter will come out, and I'll start getting reps with him, and then I want to say I get probably around 30 reps with my punter before it's about game time, and then kind of go back locker room, get off my feet, and then come back out. It's go time.
Yeah. Wow. That's 30 reps that's a lot, I feel. I mean, to you it's probably not that much, but like from just hearing that sounds like it's a lot of reps for like a pregame and everything. Um,
Yeah.
so what position did you play before?
So I was a tight end defensive end in high school. Um, I started as a freshman at tight end because of we had some injuries that season. Our running back got hurt, so we took our starting tight end, moved him to fullback. Fullback moved to running back. So they looked at me. They're like, "Well, I mean, I was like 170 pounds at the time. I was like, I'll do my best," and ended up going pretty well. But yeah, I love playing like a regular position. I mean, I still kind of wish I could, but I mean, I played scout team like one or two times here in college in my freshman year. We were so low on numbers, and I took a few hits, and I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'm good. I'm good just being a long snapper.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
mean, I totally get that. So, kind of going along with that, what if you could play a position, would long snapping be it or would you pick a different one?
If I could pick a position, it would be tight end. I've always loved the tight end position. I always hang out with our tight end position group. I've always like because those guys can go out, catch passes, and they're going to hit and block at the same time. So that's best of both worlds there.
Hmm. Yeah. And I would imagine the competition level from high school to college was a big adjustment. Was it like a super big or was it kind of similar?
It's just so much faster. I came from a school that was in Ohio. It's Division 7, so it's smallest as it can be. I graduated with 60 some kids, so it's a small school. Speed's okay, and I remember I'll never forget it. My freshman year, I started as a freshman as a long snapper. Our first game was against North Dakota State, the defending national champions, and I run down my first punt. Everybody's flying down beside me. I'm like, man, oh man, I need to get ready for this because this is just a different world.
Yeah. Wow. So what's the best team that you've played so far in your opinion?
I mean, it was probably had to be probably Ohio State last year. I mean, I do have the shirt on, which is kind of funny, but we played Ohio State last year, and I was a lifelong Buckeye fan, and I think they're ranked number one or two at that time. Um, but even then, for FCS, South Dakota State, North Dakota State, played against those every year, and those guys are just unbelievable. They win national championships every year, and there's a reason because of it.
Yeah.
So those three are probably one of the best teams I played against.
Yeah, those teams definitely have some dogs in there. It's crazy
Oh
to
yeah,
that you're able to play like schools like that. Do you get nervous before the like every game or big games or what?
all the time, every snap, every time I hear punt alert, field goal alert, nerves are nerves are rolling. I mean, I, I wish I didn't, but it's just one of those things. I really don't say it's nerves. I kind of say it's excitement. That's why I
Hmm.
kind of changed my mindset of being, I want to be nervous. I want to be excited. So yeah, I always get the butterflies rolling. I always said, if you don't got it, you don't love it enough.
True, yeah. No, I mean, I feel like even I mean, you've been playing this for 5 years in college and you're still getting nerves and I'm going into my third year of playing college baseball and I still even sometimes at practice like it's just those getting that extra like just even though it's something I've been doing for so long, I still get
Uh,
nervous sometimes when I go out there and it's like but like you put it perfectly like it's just the excitement and I never really thought about it that way, but now that I think about it like yeah, it really is it's all the excitement that's building up that you're going out there performing because you've trained pretty much all of your life to play this sport and you're just it at some time it's going to go away and it could be your last snap or anything and it's just like that
mhm.
excitement builds up and it's just crazy when you can go out there and perform but I would
Yeah, it's
imagine
making
that
the most of it,
yeah 100%.
making the most out of every rep, man.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that obviously you're succeeding at what you're doing, considering you're still playing all 5 years and everything. So that's great to hear that all your hard work has been paying off, and you're able to play a fifth year.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So what
appreciate that.
was it hard to like decide going for a fifth year? Or was it like more of like an easy decision?
It was an easy decision. I mean, I love this sport. I've always said I'm gonna play as long as I can. I mean, they're gonna have to really just drag me off the field, be like, listen, you can't do it. But like the teammates I had, I have a great relationship with our punter and our kicker, and I fifth year was an easy decision because I wanted to still, play one more season with those guys.
Yeah, because I talk to a lot of people, even from my team, they're always on the fence on if they want to get out into the world or they want to come back and play for their last year and everything. And I mean, obviously it's good for you that it was such an easy decision. You're like, yeah, I want to play this. So that's great. Um, but like, so obviously football teams are bigger. How many guys do you have on your roster?
Let's see, it's got to be right around 110, maybe 120. Probably won't round a little over 100. I probably would say maybe 110. I think is some guys do end up leaving or quitting that you get some walk-ons that are kind of understand that after, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's right around a little over 100. I would say.
Yeah, that's a lot of people in one locker room and just getting prepared for
Yeah,
games. I
yeah.
would I would
Oh
imagine it gets really like rowdy on game days and everything.
oh, yeah, yeah. I've always said I've loved the locker room. I mean, that's probably my favorite part. Being in the locker room with all the guys, and none's better than that.
Yeah, no, 100% because it's all your brothers going out. You're preparing for games together. You pretty much spend the majority of your days in college with each other. So it's like you got to have that good relationship and just that's the way you're gonna go out and succeed. So you said you go to which college?
Youngstown State. It's I want to say it's an hour below Cleveland.
Mm. So how did you kind of choose there?
So I want to say it was the summer going into my senior year. Me and my dad mapped out, what camps we're going to go to, and I want to say it was a Sunday, and I was supposed to go to Toledo on a Monday. And Sunday night, right before we go, my dad's like, "Hey, you want to go to Youngstown State on Tuesday, but you can't go to Toledo tomorrow." I'm like, I've never really heard of Youngstown, never really went there before. He's like, we should just go check it out. I'm like, all right. So I did go to Toledo on Monday, went on Tuesday to Youngstown, and it was a pretty cool experience. Their stadium's really neat, and it's not a super big city, but it was big to me at the time. And went to the camp, had a great day. It was one of the best days I've ever had, and I was just lucky enough that the coach liked what he's seen, and he kind of gave me his information and started recruiting me from there. So that's kind of how I learned of Youngstown. And as the season went on, I kept on sending him film, and he liked what he's seen. And then he ended up offering me, I want to say, week 6 of my senior year. And then I want to say week 10 of my senior year, I ended up committing.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. So was the
Yeah.
transition into becoming a college athlete, was it hard for you or was it easy?
Well, I tell all of our specialists now, it's like when I first got here, so I was being recruited. There was two long snappers here. When
Hmm.
I got on campus, it was during COVID times. So those two snappers ended up leaving.
Hmm.
So I was the only one there. So I just had to figure it out as quickly as I could. And I'm really thankful I've had a great kicker at the time. He helped me out and, made me figure it out very quickly because I had really had no time to, take a year to learn. No, it was right off the bat. You got to know what to do, and here it is. So the transition was real quick and fast, but I'm thankful for it.
Yeah, no, that I mean it kind of seems similar to my transition because I mean, like you, I came from a smaller school in Pennsylvania, so it was like, okay, going to college, like you expect to have a lot of people, even though baseball rosters aren't as big as football rosters, it was still like it was pretty easy because the college I go to, we were a smaller college at the time, and we only had about 20. I think the roster for my freshman year, we only had 26 guys. So it was like so similar to my high school where there
Mm.
wasn't that many guys competing. And I mean, now I look at my roster and it's like we have like 65 guys now. Like
Wow.
it was a lot. Yeah, this past fall was 65 guys competing for everything. So, but I mean, my freshman year was a simple transition. I started as a freshman, so it was nice to kind of get that out of the way and everything. So yeah, I mean, similar to you, it was very simple going in. The only thing the more complications I had was off the field because you're not on a strict schedule anymore of high school. Like you don't have to go, yeah, we have classes, but you only have 4 classes. And it's, for us at least, we have 4 classes and it's spread out through the days. So it's like kind of trying to find the time to do homework and practice and lift and everything like that was the hardest transition for me. I mean, I don't know if you like struggle with that at all.
Oh yeah, yeah. I Academics were one of my biggest enemies for a while. To be honest with you, I struggled big time, but because I back in high school, it was you just like what you said, it was a routine. You knew what you were doing, you knew when the times were, and now you're on your own. That was a big adjustment for me for at least for a few years, and I eventually figured it out. But yeah, it was definitely interesting.
Yeah, I know for me, like academics was the last thing I ever worried about in high school. Like it was always like sports and everything like that. So I put baseball over that, and then kind of getting into college, like it's a totally different atmosphere. Like you have to spend a lot more time doing work and trying to balance all that with lifts and baseball. It was just a different experience for me. But I mean, I'm
Oh
glad
yeah.
I chose that route. There was at some point in my life I was like, okay, maybe I don't want to go to college to play a sport. Maybe I just want to enjoy college or just go work. But I'm super grateful that I was able to decide on playing baseball. I mean, it was a no-brainer once I got to college.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes I just think like I don't know how people can go to college and not like play sports or anything. Like I feel like it's a harder transition for them rather than us. Even though we're doing a lot more, I feel like it's a lot harder for them because they don't have that those built-in brothers and everything. Like we have recruiting classes. We're all coming in with a recruiting class, and I feel like it's just harder for people that are coming in just normal like students. Like they have to go out and like meet all these people. They don't know people right off the bat. So I think
Mhm.
that they definitely we're at a disadvantage time wise, but I feel like they're at a disadvantage for making connections and everything.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what one thing I've always thought about was how well college athletics is going to be, you know, bettering me later in my life because it's kind of giving me a routine. Yeah, I do definitely see what you're saying with like when I came here, I had a recruiting class of like 23 of us, So when we were all super tight, I mean, we were off the bat. Yeah, I could definitely. It would be pretty interesting, going to a school, especially for me. If I were to go and I wasn't an athlete to here, it definitely would be pretty different. Kind of going out and trying to make your own friends and try to find somebody similar to interest to you. So yeah, it's definitely would be an interesting transition for that one.
Yeah, it's a whole different experience. So if you weren't a college football player, what do you think you would be doing right now?
um, that's a great question. I mean, I would 100% be like the sport. I would be like competitive powerlifting. Um, but work wise, I don't know. I mean, I'd probably be like a pipe fitter, to be honest with you, still back home. But yeah, I don't know. That is a great question. That definitely would be still trying to be involved somewhat in football, either coaching like high school or something. But I'd probably be back home, shady side, working, being a pipe fitter and powerlifting. That'd probably be about it.
Yeah, no. I've definitely thought about different alternatives outside of like college because at one point I wanted to like skip out on the whole experience of college and just go like do concrete or something simple like that just so I didn't have to do 4 more years of school because it's just something I didn't like. I couldn't figure out the joy that people had in doing all of their academics and stuff. But I mean, I again like super glad that I actually chose college because it's been such a great experience.
Oh yeah, same for me. I'd say I'm super grateful, to be where I'm at and learn all the life lessons that I have and kind of get out of that small town lifestyle and experience something new. That's I that's one of the biggest things I've always said. That's what I learned most in college was how to become a better man and be better later on in my life.
Mhm. So, is there a specific or even like a couple examples like what has football taught you either about yourself or about just life in general?
It's a great question. I would say probably about learning how to deal with adversity that comes in your life. Football on the football field, a lot of things can go wrong, and when things do go wrong, what are you going to do about it? Are you just going to lay down and all right, whatever, or are you going to be like, all right, this is what I need to do. Now it's time to build upon it and overcome that. Because there's going to be a lot of struggles, that you can have later on in life. So you just got to know, you got to look at the situation and be like, all right, here's what I need to do to overcome this. So that's what I believe. Football has kind of made me really pay attention to different things that are happening. Because one thing goes wrong, a lot of things can go wrong. But if you when that thing does go wrong, you just really pay attention, learn from it. Maybe later down the road, you're not gonna have those issues come up again.
Yeah, no, that's what I love about sports. Like, even like some sports like that I haven't played, like I can go and play them and just learn so much from them. Especially baseball, like I've learned a lot of different lessons just playing all of my life that like I can now incorporate into my normal life outside of it. Like you have to learn to work as a team and have that one goal as a team and it just teaches you how to work as a team, put the motivation in like you said, like in life you're going to run into road bumps. Like nothing's going to go as planned all the time. And I think that's what's great about sports is it teaches you how to find the alternative route of attacking that problem. And I just like love encouraging people to play sports when they're young, just like figuring out what they like, because then as you grow, like you start learning these simple life lessons that you're able to like put into your life as you grow up, and it's just a great thing. And I'm so glad I was able to play sports and just learn all these
Yeah,
different lessons.
so I would say even another thing would be for me was developing a routine. I wake up every morning super early, and I kind of know how to handle my day to days. I do basically the same thing every day, kind of, but it's helped me develop a routine. That way, I'm not just doing sleeping in all the time. And so later on in life, when it comes to having a job, I'm on time. I'm doing everything right.
So do you enjoy getting up super early?
I do. I wake up usually 6:30 or 5 or not 6:30, 5:30 or 6 every morning. Kind of get moving like that. So I was against it at first, but then I kind of got used to it, and now I can kind of wake up early, make my breakfast, sit around and relax, kind of go through whatever I missed from the days, and then kind of set up my schedule for them to do for the following day.
Wow, 5:30 is crazy. I mean, I
Yeah,
wake up now at like, even when I have like an 8 a.m. class, I'll wake up at like 7:30. I'm like, wow, this is so early. But I do agree with the fact
yeah,
that like once you have that routine, it's so much easier to just do it every single day because you're so used to it. Um, but
yep,
yeah, 5:30 is just that's a little too early for me.
yeah. I know it's a struggle at first, but once I get used to it, I've been doing it for years now. So once I kind of get used to it, now I can't not do it.
Yeah,
There'll be some days I'll stay up and I still wake up at 6, and it's like, well, can't go to bed still, so gotta
yeah.
just go with it.
Yeah, no, I mean, over the summer, like I get up for work sometimes at 4 in the morning, and I'm like, wow, I can't wait till I get back to college where I don't have to get up at
Yeah,
4 in the morning. Like but then like, I haven't been able to get into a strict routine like you, where like I wake up at a certain time every single day. I kind of just, for me, I like sleeping, but at the same time I don't. So I go to bed really late the majority of the time. Like I'll usually go to sleep maybe like 1, 2 a.m. just because that's how I always did it in high school. So like
mm,
naturally, I like I like getting a decent amount of sleep. So going to bed at 1 a.m. doesn't really help with getting up early. So I mean, it's just
yeah.
definitely something to adjust.
I'm super into like my recovery and all this stuff, like my meal plans. I'm super like in routine with that. I do the same thing every day usually, and it's all set in stone. So I kind of took me, I want to say, 2 years to really stick to it. Now it's just like second nature to me.
Yeah, no, that's great that you were able to find a routine that you enjoyed and you can constantly do every day.
Yeah,
I will have to start working on that a little bit more because that's something I definitely struggle with. But
yeah, it makes everything a lot easier.
so, how has been your like college experience so far?
It's been a blast. I mean, I loved every second of it. The people I've met, the lifelong friends that I will have. The memories that I always tell all the guys. I'll be like, there's gonna come a point in time where I'll be sitting on my porch. I'll be 40, 50 years old and be like, hey, remember that one time? And then we just go from story to story like that. So it's been so fun. I mean, I love football, but I mean, outside of football has been absolute blast.
Yeah, no, it's for me. I'm kind of the same with you. Like I think about it every day. Like coming into college, I was like, oh, well, like maybe I won't like it with having so much freedom. But like since probably, I mean, it probably took me about like 1 to 2 weeks to kind of adjust to being just having complete freedom over my life, being able to do what I want whenever I want, everything like that. But it's just been a great time. Like I can't think of a day that I haven't enjoyed so far being at college, even though we as student athletes, like we do so much throughout the day, but it's just like kind of like a part of me now where like we just wrapped up our fall season yesterday, and now like even today it was just so weird not being able to like have like a formal practice. Like now we're on our own, we have to do all of our work by ourselves. It just kind of throws me off when we're not in season working as a team.
Yeah, yeah. That's even the off season. That's kind of like our where I always say that's where the best team building begins in the off season. Because everybody's always together. We're all out having fun. I've always said that was the best times. We have spring ball. Yeah, we'll have our lifts and sometimes we'll have our spring practices. But after that, it's all I always said team bonding. It's we're all going out. We're have a good time, and that's those days were an absolute blast.
Yeah, 100%. So outside of football, what do you like to do?
I mean, other than of course, my fitness stuff, but I mean, I do play video games a good bit. Kind of get back into it again. But I do fish a lot, or at least I mean I haven't the past year, but I usually do a lot of fishing. I really like the outdoors, so I like anything outside. That's really about it. I mean, I don't do a whole lot other than just uh, just working out and stuff like that.
Yeah. What video games do you play?
big sport guy, so I've been playing a lot of college football lately. So I've been playing that ever since it came out. Kind of just rotating through. I play a lot of the Call of Duty still too. It's I do like playing the video games because I play with my my brother and I got a couple of cousins. We all play together still, usually every other night. I always like that just because it keeps us together and we're always talking. So that's kind of why I like still play video games.
Yeah, I mean, I've maybe played because like I only have a PlayStation 4, so I can't really play college football. But I've played it like once or twice on some of my teammates like Xboxes and everything. I gotta say it's a really fun game. It's definitely a lot different.
So yeah,
It's so much different than Madden, even though it's kind of the same layout. But it just brings more enjoyment to me at least.
yeah, that's why I'm not a fan of the Maddens anymore. I used to play them. I want to say up until Madden 17 or 18. I used to play them all the time, and then it kind of faded away. I just never liked the gameplay of them. And now, once the college football came out, I knew this was gonna be awesome. And I remember the first week. I don't think I got off my Xbox for like 12 hours a day. I was just playing every
Uh,
day. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, I still play a good bit whenever I got some free time, but it's kind of like a nice little getaway.
yeah, no, 100% agree. I mean,
Mhm.
I I somewhat get into playing video games. I don't bring my like any of my consoles to college only because have the fear that I will sit there my whole free time and just do that, especially in the off season. So I do worry
Mhm.
about that a lot, but I mean, I'm only 20 minutes from my house, so like I go home on the weekends and I sit there and I'll play a little bit. But
Yeah,
it's just something about playing like the different sport games. Like I love it. Like and I mean I'm super into like football and baseball and basketball. So it's just like so cool to be able to go out on the field and play our sport and then I can go back and just play a video game of it and
do the same
everything.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah, it's so cool. But it's also kind of a weird concept because you just get through a long day of practicing or just playing a game or anything and then your first instinct is to go play that same exact game like for a
yeah.
couple hours after. It's just a very interesting concept to me, and I don't know. It's just very interesting to me.
Love of the sport. It's the love of the sport.
Yeah.
You can't get enough of it.
No, it's great. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Do you watch or like keep up with any other sports outside of football?
I used to a lot. In recent years, I haven't. I mean, I used to watch baseball a good bit. I used to watch basketball a little bit. I was a diehard LeBron fan, still kind of am. But I haven't watched the NBA a whole lot. But baseball, I used to watch the Rays play all the time. But really, I don't know why I just haven't in recent years watched a whole lot.
Hmm.
Um, I really don't watch a whole lot of sports anymore. I wish I did. I try to get back into it,
Yeah.
but
No,
it's got a lot going on all the time.
yeah, no, 100%. There's just only so many hours in every day that you have, and I mean, I'm the same way. Like I play baseball. I love baseball, but it's just sometimes sitting down to watch an actual baseball game on TV just kind of like not bores me, but it's almost about like that same thing. It's just like it's not as exciting as playing, so I kind of just shy away from it. I mean, obviously, like I'll go and watch like baseball in like the postseason, like currently, just like watching all the games like that. But throughout the regular seasons, there's just so many games being played that I can't ever keep track of it. But I mean, I love
Yeah.
watching the NFL. I think that's my top sport to watch.
See, I used to. I'm a Bengals fan, and but I I'm at practice all the time, and I get back here because we usually have practices on Sundays. After the game, we go through like films and quick walkthrough in the lift. When I get back, I really don't just want to go to bed and go lay down. I don't really have time to watch football because I just watched so much film from our game, the day before. I'm kind of footballed out at that
Hmm.
point.
Yeah. No, I mean, my whole Sunday routine is I'll sit there from 1 o'clock and I'll watch it all the way up to the last game. It's just something that I enjoy, but I also
Mhm.
don't play the sport, so I don't have to sit there and through practices and film and everything. So, I mean, I definitely get where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, so we've been watching actually a lot of baseball in the house just because the playoffs are happening. Being this close to Cleveland, all the guys in the house that I live in, they're all Guardians fans, so they've been going nuts downstairs, and so I'd walk down and just finally start watching it. So I've been watching a good bit, at least through the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think that's like one of the best ways to come together and get to know each other is just through watching sports as well. Like you go out and
Oh
play
yeah,
it, you go out and play it all day, you practice with them, and then just to be able to sit down and watch it, I feel like you learn something new about each person, just how they watch and how they like everything like that, and it's again it's just another positive to people playing sports.
oh yeah, yeah. Nothing's better. I always say nothing's better than watching some ball with the boys. You
Mhm.
know.
100%. I 100% agree with that. Great. That was a
Yep.
great statement. So you said you're into fishing. Do you hunt and everything as well?
I don't. I do not. I never went hunting. My family members never really hunters. We all usually fished. My brother, believe it or not, has a fishing rod company where he makes his own. So he always did a lot. So I kind of would always follow him. So that's why I kind of got the hobby of fishing was kind of from him. And living back home, like a 5 minute walk to the Ohio River.
Hmm.
So as a kid, when we would go out and hang out, we would just go down to the river and go fishing all day. So
Hmm.
that's kind of where I developed that one from too.
Yeah. I mean, I fish a little bit. I haven't fished in maybe like 3 years, but I know it's definitely something a lot of my friends do. A lot of my teammates will go in their free time and fish. But it's just, I don't know. It's something I'm super like, I don't have enough patience for fishing sometimes.
It's boring for a lot of people. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but like
100%.
yeah, for me, it's like it's kind of like a getaway. Everybody's like, you're right. Nobody has patience, and everybody's like, oh, it's just boring. Just sitting there waiting for it. I'm like, I know, but like for me, it's just relaxing. You're out. There's no like you're not thinking about anything. You're just out on your own.
Hmm.
That's basically what I get out of it.
Yeah. No, I mean I enjoy it, but I just think like I have to be with like other people when I fish just cuz it's
Yeah,
you're sitting there by yourself and it's like okay, well I'm waiting for a fish to just come to me, but I just, for some reason like I've always enjoyed being with people there even though
hmm
I'm not necessarily a super social person, which is crazy cuz I run a podcast, but I don't
yeah,
like I'm not super social in my opinion, but fishing has just been something that like I enjoy, but I have to be with surrounded by people and just be able to talk and just
yeah.
have a good time like that.
Very true. Yeah, I always makes it a little bit better, especially like when you got back home. I mean, I used to have one of my best friends I would go fishing with all the time, and definitely made it a lot easier, more fun.
Hmm.
I still occasionally will go out by myself. You know, up here it's a little different. I mean, there's a few lakes that I've been to, but other than that, it's kind of a little bit tougher up here. Back home, that was just kind of the thing to do.
Yeah, it's so easy to access different places, and I feel like no matter where you go, you can pretty much within a certain distance. There's always somewhere to fish, and I mean, like I said, like it's fun to an extent, but I also just lose that patience sometime, and I just get really
Yeah,
frustrated. And then it's just an easy escape to just be like, okay, well, I've been sitting here for an hour, nothing's happened, so I kind of just leave.
yeah,
But yeah, it's
yeah,
definitely a different thing. But I mean, I've, like I said, I went hunting, and that's kind of the same thing with fishing, other than for me, it's been less likely to see anything. So I feel like that's why I kind of gotten away from that.
That's I've always wanted to go hunting. That's I've always wanted to, but never had the chance to because
Hmm.
I mean my family weren't super hunters. We didn't have a whole lot of land to go out and do stuff like that. So, but I've always loved that kind of lifestyle. I've always kind of like loved the country lifestyle. But I've always wanted to, never had the chance to. But hopefully I can soon. But yeah, I guess we'll see though.
Yeah, it's definitely it's I in my opinion, I think it's more enjoyable for me to hunt than fish. Although I don't do it as often, it's just something about that just like seems so much more enjoyable, even though it's kind of the same concept where you're sitting there waiting for something to come to you. So
Yeah,
I don't know, it's just something that stuck out for me. I've enjoyed it a lot more than fishing, although I do like fishing, but it like the only reason I would put fishing maybe above hunting is because you can fish in the warm weather and most of the time you're hunting in the cold, and I hate the cold.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
I don't mind. I always said I gotta have my four seasons. I can't. I got a lot of family members down in Florida, and they love it down there. I go down there, I'm just sweating all the time. I'm like, I don't think I'm made for this type of weather.
Yeah. No, I mean I mean, living in Pennsylvania, we definitely get all four seasons, but it's just something about, like, I just hate the winter. I just don't like cold. I
Yeah,
don't like snow. Like, it's nice to look outside and be like, oh, it's snowing. Like, it's such a great view, but it's just something I just hate it. I just hate being cold. I'd much rather be in like Florida or Texas or something where it's hot the
yeah,
majority of the day. I can go out and not have to worry about whether or not I have to wear sweatshirt and a pants, or if I can just go out in shorts and a short sleeve shirt, everything like that. It's just something that I've enjoyed a lot more than Pennsylvania.
yeah. So I was before the game. I was walking around with one of our strength coaches, and it was yeah, it was on Saturday, the morning of, and it was like 60, 70 degrees in late October, and we looked at each other like, you know what? I think I want the winter to come now because I'm kind of over the heat. I was like sweating. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready for winter. I'm just a different person on that standpoint.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something that comes to my mind because I sweat a lot. So like when I go to Florida, I have to watch what I wear because I'll have sweat stains everywhere, and it's just.
Yeah,
But for some reason,
never
it's just
wearing gray.
no. That's the biggest thing is I have a lot of
Yeah,
gray stuff that I wear, and I'm like, well, I gotta watch if I wear it here because it's really hot down there, so I'm gonna be sweating a lot more than I normally do. But
oh yeah, I'm same way.
it's just so much more enjoyable. Like I prefer being hot over cold any day. Like I'd rather sweat than be freezing.
Yeah, I got that. See, I'm the other way. I got it. I love my cold weather.
Yeah, I mean, even playing sports in it, I guess I'm kind of the opposite when it comes to playing baseball because much rather play in the cold than play in the warm. It's just
Mhm.
weird.
That's how I always like thought. I love playing football in the snow.
Hmm.
For me, it's like I remember as a kid, you got like Christmas time, you're playing football with all your friends and family, and it's like winter time, you're playing in the snow. I always loved that. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, football's definitely been one of the sports that I guess it would be one of my biggest regrets is never playing football. I always got asked to play football, and I just like I loved watching it and I loved playing with my friends, but I just couldn't like actually like get out there and play because I didn't necessarily think I would enjoy playing organized. Where like you're playing with your friends, you're just running random plays, everything like that. I just didn't think I could
Yeah.
consume all the plays and having to learn all these different strategies and everything like that. And I don't know. It's definitely one of my biggest regrets is not playing football. But
Yeah, see, I'm like the same way with baseball. I remember I was like, I want to say like eighth grade or I want to say seventh or eighth grade, and I remember seeing the curveball for the first time. I'm like, yep, I'm done. Put the bat away. I'm not built for this sport.
yeah, I mean that's why I chose to be a pitcher because I can do stuff like that. And I mean even getting to college, like I got in as a two-way player and I saw a first off speed pitch and I just see like the tick up in velocity. I'm like, yeah, no, I'd much rather be the guy out there throwing the pitch
Yeah,
rather than the one that's trying to hit it every day.
yeah, yeah. I
But
don't blame them. I'll never forget it. I seen it. I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm cut out for this.
yeah, but then again, I also look at like football games. Like I'll watch college and I'm like, I'm 100% glad as well that I didn't choose to play football and then try to pursue it in college because I see some of these videos where all these guys are getting like launched and it's just crazy how
Oh,
hard these people can hit it. It's just so scary to think about being in that position where you're going up against these guys that are bigger than you and they're just running right through you.
it like freaks of nature, man. Some of those guys I see run down the field. I'm like, man, I'm glad I'm not have to go out there and take some of those hits. Like I've gotten hit a few times, and I'm like, man, oh man, I'm glad I do not have to do this very much because it's the size, speed, and strength, especially strength wise, of these guys. I good at run down and hit people are absolutely insane.
Yeah, and I mean I'm semi strong for baseball, but I'm nothing compared to football players because you
Yeah,
guys are just so much more strength and the speed wise not very fast at running, so I could never try to be like a cornerback who's trying to keep up with a really fast receiver. It's just not something I could think I could do.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely a tough task.
Yeah, 100%. So has there
Yeah.
been like one or even like a couple people that have kind of influenced your life to get you where you have been now?
I mean, can I say my whole family?
Yeah.
I mean, basically, I mean, my parents for sure. I mean, they've definitely they have a lot of influence on what I do. Especially my brother. My brother is one person I've always looked up to, and you know, we're our family's super competitive. So I mean, when I was younger, my brother is 10 years older than I am. So whatever he did, I always try to one up him, and I'm always super competitive. So I'm like, he did this. I'm like, so when I get older, I got to do this. And I tried, but sometimes but yeah, he was a really good athlete. So I've always, looked up to him and, do my best to always try to be competitive with him.
Yeah, no, it's
But I mean, I say like football wise, like who kind of inspired me to like play a position. I mean, like for my position, long snapping, I've always kind of looked up to Luke Rhodes, who's a long snapper for the Colts. I've always tried to emulate what he does. But yeah, I kind of, especially when I was younger, like coming up, I always try to find a few NFL guys, and he was always one that kind of stuck out to me.
hmm. So I know we kind of went over like what you want to do in the future. Is the NFL something that you would want to do, or is that kind of not?
I mean, hey, if they come calling and give me an invite, I will be on the next flight out. But I'm not gonna be like NFL or bust. If it happens, it happens. But there are plenty great long snappers out there that I'm not the greatest one I've ever, but I do a decent job. But if one comes calling and invites me out, that's a dream come true.
Hmm.
I've always said, even if I can have a cup of coffee there, I mean, if I could say I was a Cleveland Brown for 2 minutes, I mean that would be awesome. I mean, that's a dream come true for me.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
So I'm guessing if you could pick a place to play, you would pick the Browns.
Yeah, I mean it'd be. I mean, I have no idea. To be honest with you. I mean, I was always a diehard Bengals fan, but uh, my whole family's Steeler fan, so it's like wherever would be, a crazy thought for me would be just being there in that facility would be, it's again like a dream come true. So it
Hmm.
really wasn't any team.
Yeah. No, I mean I'm a really big Steelers fan, so I mean just looking at the Bengals and the Browns, they could most likely need you just by watching what they've
Yeah.
been doing recently. So,
Mhm.
but yeah,
Yep.
it's especially the Browns. They've been really just lost out there. It almost seems like.
Yeah. I think they're on their second long snapper this year, I believe too. I mean, they had one go down on IR, and yeah, that's a crazy situation going on, especially with the Ohio teams.
Hmm.
I have a lot of friends that are diehard Browns fans, so I have to hear it from them all the time. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's definitely interesting what's going on.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe after this year, I'll look at next season. I'll be like, wow, I had him on my podcast, and now he's
Yeah,
a starting long snapper for the Browns.
that would be. I mean, that would be awesome. I definitely have to come back and we'll have to recap
Yeah,
it.
that would be amazing. So
Yeah,
you had kind of mentioned before that you wanted to get into coaching. Is that would you want to? Does it matter the age level? Did you want to go to college or?
college would be my main spot I want to go to, just because I think. I mean, I played it for 5 years. I kind of know the system, and I kind of fell in love with it. I love being in the facility all day. I love learning new things about different formations. I love what I can sit and watch film for 10 hours a day and never get bored of it. I just, it's something I've always just kind of loved to do.
Hmm.
So, and I've always kind of lived by something. And it's a quote from an old power lifter that I've always followed was live, learn, and pass on. I'm living it right now. I'm learning all this stuff. And I've learned everything I have. And I think it's after I get done playing, it's time to pass it on to the next generation,
Hmm.
to help those guys, not make the same mistakes I did, and maybe even just make them the best athlete or football player that they can be. whether that's coaching football, which I mean I can, whether that's offense, defense, special teams, wherever they need me, or even like strength conditioning wise in the weight room wise. So wherever I'm at, that's kind of just want to develop, the younger generation.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've definitely thought about coaching, but there's just something for me. I just don't think I could coach like anything under like high school. I don't think I have the patience to do that. Although I feel like I have a lot of knowledge to pass on to them. I feel like it'd be difficult for me to kind of put it into like simpler terms just because I've been playing it for so long. All the things that I know now are a lot more advanced than like when I was younger. So it's just something for me. Like if were to coach, like I'd have to be like a high school or a college coach. It's just something that I would
Oh yeah,
so much rather enjoy.
yeah. That's what I know now. If you would have told me this when I was back in high school, I would have had no idea. So that's why I kind of like the more advanced the style. I probably would struggle if I was maybe with like talking with the young, like really young, like before high school.
Hmm.
So probably like yeah, I've always just liked the college, college level. So
Yeah. So kind of going along with that, what advice would you give your younger self about like life or football or anything?
do your schoolwork. I mean, that'd be the first one I would. Yeah, first one would be do your schoolwork. I always kind of took that lightly, and it made me struggle right off the bat, so I couldn't focus more on my sport. But I would go back to, and for the second thing, I would say enjoy every second you can. It's crazy how fast my college career went. High school, like I wake up now and it's like, man, I feel like I was a freshman in high school yesterday.
Hmm.
I wish I could have like enjoyed every second a little bit more because now it's like it goes so quick. I always said like, man, I can't wait till I'm a senior in college. I'm gonna be this. No, I should have enjoy the time while you can. It goes so fast.
Yeah. No, it definitely seemed like high school for me went pretty fast, and then I get to college and it's like even faster, and it's just crazy.
Yeah,
Like, and I love living in the moment, but like I look back and I'm like, wow, like I'm already a junior, and college has just been so fast. It's been so fun, but it's definitely something I'm gonna miss when I'm done. But I also was in the same shoes as you, where I was like, man, I can't wait till I'm a senior, then I can like
hmm,
play and hopefully see where I'm at by that point, and then just move on after college and not have to deal with taking tests or studying every night, everything like that. But it's definitely flying by a lot faster than I had planned, which is kind of crazy.
yeah. That was always I had my senior speech, before the season, and that was my biggest point to the team was, enjoy every second, enjoy every day, because it you don't have forever, it doesn't last forever,
Hmm.
because it's crazy how fast the stuff really goes.
Yeah, it's just a wild part of life. So
Oh
that
yeah,
was all the questions I had for you. Did you have any for me?
yeah, man. I really, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me on here. This is awesome. I never really done a podcast like this. I've done a few interviews, but this is awesome. I had a great time doing this.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming on. It's for me, I was never the social butterfly, but and if I would have said to myself like 5 years ago, I would never have thought I would be doing something like this, but it's just something that I've grown to love a lot more now, and just being able to meet people. Like I love the connections that I make with people, even if it's just for an hour. We're just sitting here talking, having a conversation. I'm gonna remember that, and like I can look back and be like, man, I met him. Especially you, I can
Yeah,
look back and be like, man, I met a Cleveland Browns snapper,
yeah.
and I sat down
Hopefully,
with him when he was in college. But yeah,
yeah,
it's definitely a fun experience to be able to like talk to people, especially that aren't in the same room. Like I'm able to talk to you, and
yeah,
you're not even anywhere near me. So it's been something that I've definitely enjoyed.
yeah. This was you did a wonderful job, man. I mean, this is definitely a pretty cool experience for me because it's the first time I've ever really done something like this where it's like a sit down, just kind of talk.
Mhm.
It was great.
Yeah, thank you. No, definitely thank you for coming on and everything.
Yeah, no problem, man.
All right, so thank you guys for watching. Sam did a great job, answered all my questions, even if they were a little tough. But yeah, I just want to say thank you for coming on. And yeah, I had a very fun time getting to know you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.